Joining the CS podcast now is Oklahoma Panhandle State senior cornerback. Just had a quarterback on the show. Now we get a cornerback on the other side of the field, Jamel Major. Now, Jamel, I appreciate you taking some time to join the CS podcast today, man. You guys suffered a tough loss this past weekend against Angelo State, one of the top D2 teams in the country. How would you describe that first game of the season, and what do you think went wrong?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'll describe the first game as a learning experience. That's a pretty good team. I have much respect for all of their players and coaches. And, I think what went wrong was just, special teams. We had some issues in the special teams department and, had some missed tackles, and that hurt us pretty much.
Now I would argue that, one of the top strengths of your team is that loaded secondary that you're a part of. When you look up at the scoreboard and see that you guys give up 52 points, I mean, what are you thinking? And I know that it's not all on the secondary, and you guys did make some plays as well, so I don't want to be all Mr. Negative here, but being on the defensive side of the ball, I can't think that it feels too good to give up 50-plus points in a victory, nonetheless a loss.
No, sir, it's never good to give up 52 points. When I looked up at the scoreboard, I was in shock as well. Of course, it's not all on the secondary. But, of course, as a team, 52 is 52. So we have to improve this week and hopefully get the victory over Fort Lewis.
Now, it may not have been the greatest game, but you did intercept a pass this past weekend, Jamel. And of course, being a defensive back, that's probably going to be the first stat that people look at. Are you relieved that you're able to get that first interception of the season under your belt?
Yes, sir. That's always a good thing. Whenever I'm able to help my team out, help my defense, get off the field by creating a turnover. So I'm very relieved about that. Now,
Jamel, a lot of eyes were probably on you this past weekend. I know a lot of eyes are going to be on you this entire season, seeing as you probably are. You're certainly one of the top cover cornerbacks in all of Division II football. I would even attest to that. But when people question your physicality, what do you say to those people?
That's just a negativity. I'm a very physical corner. Even though being undersized, I can match up with the best of them. Speed, quickness, technique, and physicality. So, I just let the people state their opinions, and I continue to prove them wrong week by week.
Sounds good. Once again, Oklahoma Panhandle State University's cornerback Jamel Major joining the CS podcast presented by the NFL Draft Bible and NUC Sports. And Jamel, you mentioned it. You are listed at 5'9", 175 pounds. That's according to the school website. How do you make sure that your height and weight don't become a weakness, seeing as 6'2", 6'3" corners seem to be a hot commodity nowadays?
I trust my feet work and I trust my technique, so I'm always technically sound when it comes to covering those big receivers. Of course, they have a more physical, attribute on me, and all I can do is just play my game and just get a hand on them, get a hand on the receivers and press them up. I believe I can stick the dust up, and I'm very confident in myself, so I don't let my size be a weakness.
Now, this weekend, you just mentioned a minute ago, Jamel, you guys are taking on Fort Lewis. They're also coming off of a big loss against Montana State, so I got to think that both teams here have something to prove. I know that Fort Lewis has quite a few nice-sized wide receivers. What's the mindset heading into this game, and how are you guys going to be able to pull off that first victory of the season this Saturday?
The mindset this week is, of course, to improve from last week, to stay focused, to just do our jobs and play our roles on each position, do whatever it takes to help the team win. Of course, this is a good team we're coming into. We're going into their home field. It's their home opener. So, of course, we have to stay focused, stay locked in on our assignments. They have a pretty good quarterback as well. Their receivers are good as well. So just stay technically sound and don't make mistakes to beat ourselves.
Now, one loss obviously doesn't determine the rest of the season, Jamel. You guys did lose once again. What was it, 52-31, I believe, this past weekend against Angelo State. Like I said, one loss does not determine the rest of the season. You guys do have a lot of talent on the team. Do you feel that you guys can not only make an appearance in the Division II playoffs, but possibly squeak into the championship game? I mean, is there still confidence with this team?
Of course. My entire team is confident. We believe in the talent we have on the team, and of course, that's our mindset and that's our goal. But we know it takes one step at a time, and one game at a time. So all we can do is focus on Fort Lewis first.
Now, being a smaller cornerback, Jamel, what would you say is probably your biggest strength as a cornerback? Like I said, I mean, a lot of people have been raving about your coverage skills. I mean, would you certainly say that's one of your better attributes, being able to cover?
Of course, sir. My best attribute is pressing. I can get in the receiver's face and mess up his timing, and I just beat him with my feet without getting a hand, and I can make a play on the ball. It's always been a position I love to play, cornerback. I love my feet work, and I work hard. So I believe in my technique, and I'm very confident that I could cover anybody in the nation.
And with that said, it sounds like being physical. You have to be physical in order to be a pretty successful cornerback. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course.
So when people, again, I don't want to be Mr. Negative over here, but there have been tweets about people questioning your physicality. Now, when I see that, I don't really get it because I was able to watch just a tad bit of your the highlights, and I know they're called highlights for a reason. But when I see people questioning your physicality, I don't necessarily get it because I don't know what I'm seeing on the screen is you are pressing the receiver, you are getting up in his face, you are making sure there's not a lot of space between the two of you. How important is it for a cornerback to kind of like I said earlier? I mean, not only be physical, but you have to kind of know your limits. You don't want to go get a pass interference call on you.
Yes, sir. You have to be physical, but you also have to know the limitations, because of course the ref will call a flag on you if you're holding or have a hand to the other receiver's helmet. So I haven't got beaten in press coverage the entire game against Angelo. We pressed the entire second half and brought blitzes the entire second half, and I didn't give up a reception. I give a protection cover 3, and that's about it. But press coverage is my thing. So you have to know your assignments and you have to know your technique. A ref will call a flag in a heartbeat. So technique is very key when you're pressing the receiver.
Now, looking at your guys' team, you guys do have a lot of talent, even on the offensive side of the ball. Running back Chris McClendon certainly sticks out. He had a big game against Angelo State this past weekend. Going up against a running offense during practice. How does that help you out in game? I mean, being able to get those reps to kind of shut off the blockers and whatnot. I mean, how important is that for you to get reps for that? And being able to practice against guys like McClendon. How much does that help your game personally?
It definitely elevates my game to the next level. Chris McClendon's an outstanding running back. His backup Rob Moore is also an outstanding running back. So they push us a lot through practice. They're both tough guys to bring down, and they're both physical runners, so they help our game a lot. So when we get into game day mode, we're already ready for the next opponent.
You guys take on Fort Lewis this weekend, Jamel, and being a Division II cornerback, and I know you have NFL aspirations. What do you feel that you have to show, NFL scouts the remainder of the season? I know the season just kicked off. What do you feel you have to show scouts and anybody else watching your game in order to get that shot in the NFL?
To be honest, I just have to show them that I can improve week by week, continue to make plays on the ball, and show scouts and whoever tweet about me in a negative way that I am physical and that I can come up and make tackles as well. So, my mindset is just to improve week by week.
Hey, sounds good. Well, Jamel, that's all I have for you, man. Once again, best of luck this weekend against Fort Lewis, and I'm certainly wishing you all the best, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on the show.